Hi you guys, I hope all is well. I'm just gonna start right into it. I start off by taking my concealer and I carve out the bottom of my brows just to get the shape of how I want my face to sit with this makeup look. And then after I do that, then I go ahead and I use my concealer in the color Fawn to sort of color correct my eyes all the way from my lids towards the bridge of my nose. Following the same placement, I'm using the concealer towards my bridge, my forehead, and then as well as my jawline, as well as using my bronzer towards the bottom of my jaw to define that area of my face. And then once I base my concealer and bronzer together, then I go ahead and I blend it. And then once I finish blending, then I'm taking my pressed powder to set the concealer in place. And then separately off camera, I used actually an eyeshadow from this palette, the brown one, and I used that color to set my bronzer. Once I set my bronzer, then I go ahead and I use my translucent powder across my jawline to set that. I take my white concealer and I use that as my eyeshadow base, and this will be a way for me to allow my colors to show up more prominent and more vibrant. I'm taking this mustard yellow color and I go ahead and I sweep it across my brow bone. And I just take this fluffy brush and I just go ahead and I just sweep it back and forth and back and forth. So with that same motion, I'm just using my pink color and I swipe it across my cheeks for the blush. Then I go ahead and I use my pink blush and I follow the same routine as sweeping it back and forth against my cheeks. Added my white concealer on the bottom end of my eyes just to mark where I want my blush to sort of end. And I use that same white concealer and I put it on the apples of my cheeks to enhance my cheeks more. And also I apply the white concealer under my eyes just to mark where I want my pink blush to stop. And then I use my translucent powder just as a base for the color to deposit. And I'm using a yellow color just as my lid color. Then I go ahead and I take my translucent powder and I use that to blend. So I go back in between my translucent color and as well as my yellow eyeshadow just to blend those colors out more seamless. When I apply translucent powder, whenever I add my eyeshadow, it doesn't become patchy. Then I take my pearl color from my Venus Line Prime palette and I swipe that color across my brow bone to give it that celestial body glam. Taking my eyeliner and I go ahead and I line my outer portion of my eyes and I just carefully graze my eyeliner. So I take a little bit of my waterproof mascara and then I use an angled brush and I take that to line my eyes as if it's a gel liner. That same mascara, then I go ahead and I brush my mascara on the outer portion of my eyes. Here I'm just doing some finishing touches where I'm just using my pressed powder to fix in any spots where there's like gaps or where I feel it's not blended all the way through. Then I also do the same for my blush color and as well as my eye color. With that same blush color, I go ahead and I sweep it across my chin just to mimic that balancing effect from the original reference photo. And then off camera, I went ahead and I applied my falsies. Then I take my glitter eye topper as a highlighter for the bottom part of my eyes, just to mimic that celestial glow. Using my flash palette, I'm taking this coral color and I'm putting it on my lips. And at first I thought I was going to do a matte lip with this look, but then I decided that I liked the gloss and I felt the coral color was taking away from the eye color, so I ended up taking off that color, but I used it as a stain for the lip gloss. And that is it for this video. So this was a very super simple look that I was able to achieve, and if you suck at blending, I urge you to try this look out, because all this look consists of is just blending two colors, your blush and then your eyeshadow color. So it's a very simple look. If you end up doing this look, please tag me because I'm very interested in seeing how it came out. I had a good time filming this actually. Like, this is probably one of my favorite looks that I've done. And yeah, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for sending it to me.